Hey there, Infinite Hollywood and Thundercats fans. This is Wesatron back with another Thundercats review. Today we're looking at Thundercats 2011 Grune the Warrior. This is pretty much the same basic style, deluxe packaging as Mumra. Grune picture up here in the corner. I really like the art they've been doing so far. It looks great. The new Thundercats logo, everything looks nice. Back, cross cells. This really tiny bio. I don't even know why they bother. Grune only wants one thing, power, and he'll stop at nothing to get it. That's it. It shows you how the action feature works here on the back, and of course there's included instructions, more cross cells down here at the bottom. That's pretty much it. Just wanted to give you guys a quick look at it. It's almost identical to Mumra's, just new toy. Anyway, let's get her out of package and see what we got. And here we have Grune outside of his packaging. Quick look at the instructions. You're coming with everybody. Pretty good stuff. Nothing that you haven't seen before. You've got the Link's power here. The bow is kind of interesting because it's not how I expected he would have held it. The bow is longer on one end than it is the other. See, it's quite a bit longer here than it is here. And he actually is supposed to hold that with the long end going up, which seems a little odd, like it might have just been tacked on there. But, oddly enough, Bandai's done something that most people don't, and that's pay attention to how an arrow is shot. When you remove the arrow from the quiver back here, it's got a little peg here, right there. On the side of the bow, you can see a little notch. The peg fits perfectly into the notch and lays just like, if I can get that in there we go, just like an arrow would if you were to load it. So basically, if he were to hold this in his right hand, the arrow would cross over the top of the bow like so. Now, without arm swivels, it's not going to do him a whole lot of good, but it is a really neat touch that they decided to add that. You know, the bow and arrow both are very soft plastic. The arrow, you can see, is very similar to Mumra's sword. It's kind of bendy and stuff. I'm probably not going to do too much with that. The bow, same stuff. It is nice that they gave you a hole on either end, so if you wanted to, you can attach yourself a piece of fishing line or something there to make it a little more bow realistic, I guess. But yeah, not bad. Nothing that we've seen him use yet, but looks cool. The arrow works well with the quiver. And the notch actually does slide into a particular groove in there. So you can slide it all the way down in there. And that stands just fine. I see, I had to say it. That stands just fine on its own. You just got to make sure how that, because the arrow points out of the bottom, so it may try to push it in an off direction, but it should hold up pretty good. And this little stand part here flips in, and right here this round circle is actually a Link's magnet, which will work with Grune's links on the back. So you just clip, and boom, he's got a quiver. Pretty cool. It's great too because it'll work with your other characters too. If you wanted to go with kind of more of a hunter style Tigra, you know, you can give him bow and arrow. It kind of works with his color scheme a little bit. Not bad. I like the arrow set. The staff, of course, looks fantastic. It's huge. It's awesome. It's probably going to be difficult to replicate this in 6-inch scale without having the package be insane, but hopefully they get to a 6-inch Grune because so far he's a really neat character. Hasn't done a whole lot, just he looks cool, and I like Clancy Brown a lot, so what are you going to do? Link's power, he's got this circle right here. You can see it, there we go, light. Basically you just tap it to the back. So far it's been about maybe 60% chance of working. There we go. Popped right open. I think probably the biggest issue is just that his hair hangs right above the button, so sometimes it doesn't have a quite a perfect link to the weapon. But that magnet just basically, you just push up against it. And see, that's the problem I'm running into. Sometimes it opens one and not the other. There we go. Just kind of smack it, it'll work. He will be able to hold this. It's difficult to try and make this work with both hands, just because He doesn't have bicep swivels, but I imagine you can kind of approximate it, make it look okay. It is going to be rather heavy though. This is a really rubbery plastic, just like the bow and everything. So I will imagine that over time that'll probably droop a little bit if he is holding it out. So you may have to fix that with heat, I don't know. On to Grune himself. Figure is really nice looking. You know, it doesn't look exactly like him, but at 4-inch scale, you know, you're looking mostly at your kid market here, even though all us collectors are buying him. But I like him. He works great. Not overly detailed, not under detailed either. His face could probably use a little bit more work, but it's not bad. Nice detail, you know, panel lining and stuff. Really, really nice cut armor plates all over the place. Straps for his boots. He looks really good. I like him. I like his design anyway in the show. This is his the second costume you see him in from the first episode after he shows his true colors, I guess you could say. But it looks good. Nice big, you know, circles, very indicative of the style they've been using so far. The black peg joints in this one really aren't so bad because they're covered up mostly. I mean, he's got tiny peg joints here in his knees, but you don't really see him. Armor covers up the peg joints in the feet. Not bad. You know, he's got peg joints in the elbows, of course, and they're blocked by this armor here, so you don't get too much black in there, so it doesn't look so bad. Articulation on this guy is pretty good. The head is very limited. It could be on a swivel, I'm not sure. I'm getting more turn out of this than you normally will because these lights I'm using are extremely hot. So normally he would go about, he'd do about this much. I mean, not much at all. But because of the lights, he can actually twist a lot more. And actually, I might be able to, yep, he's got a ball under there. Can't do much with it because of the beard and the hair, but he does have a ball. So, there you go. Swivel hinge shoulders. They go all the way around, of course. Out to about there on that side. This side seems like it's getting a little bit better range. Not a ton better, but some. No swivel in the biceps. Elbows go to about there. Swivel in the top of the gauntlets there. Swivel waist. Swivel hinge hips. There's another swivel up here. The skirts are attached here, so they're not going to pop off like your Mumra. You'll see there's another swivel inside there. Now he's actually got plastic on his leg that runs up to the back here, so trying to swivel it all the way around at this point is not going to work, like trying to rotate it outward that way. You may be able to cut that down if you don't like that, so you can get a better rotation out of him. It's up to you, but it works fairly well. The joint only allows it to go out about that far on either side. And the skirts block it to going out about there. Skirts aren't really that bad. It's like the other figures, they're fairly pliable and whatnot, so not going to hurt you too much. There's the knees. Not perfect 90 degrees, but certainly not bad. He's got swivel boot tops. Pretty good. And hinged ankles, which do about like that. Not bad. He's going to be able to do your, standard battle poses. Kind of just, he'll probably be hard to balance with his Mace of Awesome. I'm worried about twisting up his arms in these hot lights. Yeah, this is going to be hard to make him work with his mace. You may have to try to one-arm this mace in your display. But he will be able to do battle poses and whatnot if you can balance the mace. Let me see if I can get this down his hand enough. Yar. I am Grune. Neat. Alright. So let's get this guy down here and we'll look at some comparison shots real quick. As it so happens, I have picked up a few more of the 4-inch figures. First of all, we'll show them off with Lino. Now, scale is not perfect on the 4-inch figures, nor is it on the 6-inch figures, really. I thought that they'd be closer in the 4-inch scale, but someone posted a picture recently on the Fwoosh, which you can see right here. Which basically shows that Lionel should be coming about up to maybe his neckline here. So obviously Lion's a bit too tall. Not a huge issue for me, as Grune's a big character. They have to think about how they're going to use the plastic. They can't overuse it. make him too big, or else he's not going to fit into a certain SKU size. But with Mum-Ra, you start to see a big difference in that scale. You see Mum-Ra here. Mum-Ra's got a tiny little head. I mean, Mum-Ra's head here is tinier than Lion-O's, which is a big problem because, as you can see in the picture, Mum-Ra should come up. His breast is about even with Grune's head, so not going to work. Much bigger than Lion-O. Lion-O only comes up to like his waist. But the 6-inch Mum-Ra, which I was able to find, is actually much closer in scale to the 4-inch figures. I thought that was crazy talk at first. I really did. But as you can see, Grune is much closer to the breast. He's going to come a little short, but that's because he's a little short for his scale anyway, but he syncs up pretty good with Lion-O, honestly. So, the 6-inch Mum-Ra will scale much better with your figures, but if you're just going for a 4-inch display, if you're going for 6-inch display, this guy's awesome anyway. Go ahead and get him. Don't wait for them to come out with a 11-inch tall Mum-Ra. Just so you can feel good about your scale. It's not going to be that big a deal. Relax. By the way, the design on here, on his breastplate, get his head off again, is actually much better done than it was on Mum-Ra. I don't know if you can really see that very well. My camera's focus isn't great, but there are better details in the snakes. They look really good. For the snakes. Sorry, I love Conan. But yeah, that's pretty much it in a nutshell for Grune. He cost me $15 from ToysRUs.com, which I went ahead and went with just because I had a positive PayPal balance. Again, it's another one of those things. Deluxe figures are going to be overpriced at TRU. I really would not recommend getting these at Toys R Us. The cost is just too high. Unless you just have a positive PayPal balance and you're like, hey, I've got it, let me go ahead and get these figures while I can. That's fine. But wait till you can find this guy for $12-13. At $12, I say he gets about an 8. He's a good figure. He can't hold his weapons quite perfectly, but he's not bad. At $13, just start knocking points off. Because you don't need to be paying that much for a 4-inch toy. So, but anyway, this is Grune the Warrior from Thundercats 2011. And, yeah, he's a great figure. I really like this line so far. I think they're doing a great job. Grune's taking a dive. There we go. Like I said, his weapon's too big. He's not going to be able to hold it with both hands. Not much they could do about it that scale, short of giving him cuts, which they did do with Mum-Ra, but I don't know. Maybe they can find some reuse there that they can't find here. I'm much more lenient on toyetic figures than I am collector's edition figures. So, I'm going to cut him a lot of slack, also because I really like the character so far. But anyway, thanks for watching. This is Wesatron from Infinite Hollywood saying thanks, and you guys have a great day.